So oftentimes you will, because you'll be dealing with a lot of problems that have units that are expressed differently. For example, if you're talking about milk, for example, milk is usually expressed in gallons. Gallons is actually a US unit, okay? So it's important to be able to take that gallon and convert it to a metric or an SI unit, okay? And so you need to understand what's the relationship between those. So oftentimes these relationships between US and SI or metric units are represented in a table. And these tables can be found in your book, okay? So I'm going to just show you a picture of a table, and I'm going to just basically, so that you just understand and know what the table looks like, okay? So if you take a look at this table out here, you can see that there are, you have, on the left, you have metric or SI units, then you have US units after that, and then you have the metric to US conversions. So as you can see, the metric to US conversions are what's very important. So notice carefully, you can use these relationships to kind of go back and forth between one unit to another. And the question is, how do you use these relationships, okay? So you create an equality from one to another. And this does not pertain only to US and SI metric systems, but it also pertains to when you're using prefixes, okay? So within the same system itself. So I'll start with the same system, and then we'll kind of look at US to SI relationship, okay? So take a look, for example, if you try to understand 10 to the power 3 meters, if you recall, we did this, is equal to 1 kilometer. That is called an equality, okay? So 10 to the power 3 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. That is an equality. What we have to do is we change the equality into a fraction, okay? So when you change it into a fraction, it could either be, you either keep this as the numerator and that as the denominator, or you keep that as the numerator and this as the denominator. And both can be used depending upon the scenario you are in. If you're looking for your final answer to be in meters, then you want to use this equality, fraction. If you're looking for your final answer to be in kilometers, then you want to use this fraction. And we'll take a look at some examples in a bit. So now, these fractions are actually given specific names. They are called conversion factors. So from now on, we'll refer to these as conversion factors. So each equality can give rise to a couple of conversion factors, and you have to make a decision which one you're going to use. And the whole point of a conversion factor is to help you convert from one unit to another, okay, which is what we're doing out here, okay? So take a look at, so this was a SI to, we used a prefix, right? So we went from a base unit to a unit with a prefix that increased it. Let's take a look at a US conversion factor. So, sorry, a US to metric system conversion factor. So let's say we look at our table and we say that we find that 946 ml stands for milliliters is 1 quart. That's represented by QT. So the conversion factors for this is going to be either 946 ml over 1 quart or 1 quart over 946 ml.